Hi. A lot of people nowadays feel really disconnected. And, the loneliness pandemic is really taken over the country, especially with all the division around politics and elections and so on. So when people try to fix that loneliness, a lot of times they look in the wrong place. They try to do the wrong things. And the idea of connected living can help. It targets 3 different areas, and some of them might be kind of surprising that help you get more connected. So I'm going to talk about all 3 of them today, so you can use them to feel better and to be more connected in your world. So let's do it. So a lot of times when we think about being lonely or disconnected, the concept seems to be, well, you got to get closer to your partner, to your husband, to your wife. You need more friends. You just need to get out there and connect. Sometimes that's the case, but sometimes that isn't actually the problem. Today I'll cover 3 essential areas that you can focus on and concrete ways for you to do it. So let's get started. So the first area. We often think connection is about all this external stuff, connecting with someone else, finding the right person, getting a best friend. What we don't realize is that if you're not connected with yourself, it's not really going to work. If you're not in tune with your own body and mind, it's really hard to be present. It's really hard to even like yourself enough to be able to find someone else who likes you too. This might be a physical thing, like doing something for your body that it actually really needs. Or it might be a mental or brain thing, like doing something for brain health. So here's my example. Imagine coming home after a long day of work. And I would do this regularly. I'd come home and my mind's racing and I'm tired, I'm a little frustrated, and I feel kind of almost weirdly disconnected from everyone, the whole family. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, what is happening? Because I have people that want to connect and I just feel off. So I started setting aside 5 minutes and I would go home and change my clothes and sit and be quiet. No kids, no cats, no loving embraces, no mom, yay, mom's home immediately, but just a couple minutes for me. I take a couple of minutes to even walk outside. 1 or 2 minutes does it. To breathe and be with myself and feel like, okay, I am transitioning out of work mode and into home mode. I am a separate person. I am different than I was before. What does my body need right now? I can give it that, even for a tiny bit of time. After a couple of days of doing this, I felt more like me, more connected in my body, and better able to connect at home. So one way that you can do this is to have some kind of daily ritual. Having even just a couple of minutes to center yourself. It might be through meditation or journaling or stretching, anything that helps you really feel present in the moment. Once you start having a daily routine of attending to your body, you'll start feeling more connected and more present in your own skin, and that helps you connect with others. A second major cause of loneliness is disconnection with other people, even when we might be around other people or even surrounded by other people. Sometimes we're caught up in our routines and interactions just feel like check-ins with other people. Sometimes we don't even have a sense of how to connect. The solution might be finding someone new to interact with, but it also might be interacting with the people who are already there, but in a different way. So here's my example for this. At times, my interactions with my family or my friends, it gets to be really routine. What time are we getting up? Who's making dinner? How soon do the kids need to go take their bath? What time are we getting ready for bed? Who's picking them up tomorrow the next morning? It's bam, bam, bam. Then one day, my little boy, Lincoln, he was drawing something and he was writing stuff and telling a story, and he really wanted me to listen. And I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like finding myself daydreaming or whatever. I just happened to kind of look at him, and he is so full of wanting me to be present. He wants me to hear the story and understand what he's saying and be interested in his ideas. And I finally stop daydreaming and just get into what he's saying. And it's like a crazy level of connection that I don't have on the regular basis when I'm not actually focused on people. It really reminds me that taking time in the moment with anyone really brings you more connected and less lonely. So how can you do this? Having the goal of having one meaningful, connected interaction, maybe every single day. Now, this could be with someone at work where you actually listen to them and want to know about their weekend or want to know about their work thing they're doing. It might be a family member who's always droning on about something and you never really listen. Or it could be somebody you don't even know. You go to the grocery store and this one guy at my neighborhood grocery store is a lovely guy. I see him every time I check out. I like going to him and having him check me out. And he goes off on some story. And it is full of wisdom and wit and humor and all these things. And a lot of times people just want to get out of the store. Like, they don't want to hear it. And so you could listen and actually care, because it's those conversations where somebody wants you to hear them where you start feeling heard and connected to. When we give our time and our attention to other people, you might be surprised at how much you get back and how more connected you feel. The third domain of connected living is feeling connected with the world around us. Without a sense of connecting to or belonging to something bigger than you, something outside of you, it's easy to feel really small and really alone or isolated. This might mean tapping into the energy of the universe through meditation or prayer. It might be connecting with nature in some amazing way, or even interacting with a pet or some kind of animal. You know we love our pets. You know I love sitting in the backyard and hanging out with the birds and listening to whatever appears in the forest behind me. So here's an example. A friend of mine was going through a really rough patch, and she felt really lonely and disconnected, even when she was around friends or even when she was with her family. And at one point she said she started intentionally spending more time in nature. She would just go for a walk. She lived, a little ways away from a park. It wasn't a huge park, but she would intentionally walk through the park and she would pay attention to the park and pay attention to the trees and whatever was in the grass and her smells and the sights and the sounds. And when she did that, she started feeling different. It was this whole idea of like finding a sense of peace and almost like a reset when she went outside and just paid attention. So how can you do this? It might be your own version of spending time in nature. It might be meditating. There's some really great apps, and I'll link some of them below so you can check them out. They're like micro dosing of mindfulness. You might volunteer and connect with people that way, in a way that brings you closer to something bigger than you. It doesn't have to be big. Taking a walk in your neighborhood once a week and finding something where you're like, wow, that's pretty cool, can do it. So remember, loneliness isn't always about needing more friends or connecting with more people. Sometimes we have to listen to and nurture our own bodies. Sometimes we need to interact with people in a different way than what we're already doing. And sometimes it's about connecting with something bigger than us. So if any of these ideas resonate with you, try them out. Comment below, because even when you make a comment on a YouTube video, you are reaching out and I read all of them. I try to respond to all of them. So comment, reach out. I would love to hear your voice. If you want more connection, we have the This Beautiful Brain newsletter, and I personally write it and send it out every Sunday. It's free, and you can respond to it and talk to me. So people are out there wanting to connect with you, and I want to give you the structure and the ideas to do that. So I will see you in the next one.